Well, I want to welcome you to BUS 317. There are some projects that we're going to do in this class, and I find that students find them a little complicated, if you will. Basically, I think the instructions are okay, but they leave a lot to our imagination exactly how to create this project. Analyzing a company is a skill. You need to learn how to do it. And the best way to learn how to do it is to have some structure to understand how the process works and therefore how you can provide good analysis to your superiors, or quite frankly, if you're investigating a company to invest in, you can analyze the data in a way that will help you maybe choose some good companies. So let's work our way through this project. So in week 3 of this project, you are given an assignment, and that is you're supposed to pick two competing companies. Now, the university rules give you 3 things to pick from. I've added a few others just for a little bit more variety. Um, all the numbers seem to fit for all of these companies. I've tested them all. They all look pretty well as far as finding the information you need for this project. So what you're supposed to do is go to this website. It's msn.com, and I'm going to switch over to that real quick and show you. So when you copy this, right, copy this a website, put it into your address bar up here and click enter. You go to the MSN website, right? So again, here's the website. Now you're looking for something. We want to scroll down, and this is just the easiest way I found it. Scroll down until you find the money section. Here it is. Here's the money section, and you're looking for this quote box. So I'm going to pick a company. It's not on the list. So I'm going to pick a company, Molson Coors. So when you pick that company, again, it takes you to a web page that has lots of information about the company. And you can see there's lots of stuff that they put here. But for this project, you want to go to the analysis link. So you click on the word analysis. And now you start to see that there's, again, just another page with lots of data. But what we're looking for are some ratios. And we'll talk about specifically what they are in a second. But if you click on this growth link, you'll see there's ratios here. There's information, if you will. And then there are industry numbers. Profitability. We have some ratios. Here's for this company and then for the industry. There's some price ratios. Although these don't really have a lot to do with this project, you could possibly use that if you wanted to. Then if you scroll down, here's some financial health ratios. We don't typically need the trading statistics information. Management effectiveness, though, we have some information about return on equity, return on assets, and these are 5-year averages for the companies. So, the top number is this year, but the 5-year average is the number below that. So again, we have some ratios, and you have information also on on the industry that this company is in. Now you're going to be asked to get 2 companies. So what I suggest, and again, I'll show you a table here in a second, you're going to gather this data, put it in the table for your company. Again, this company you chose is the primary company and the industry. Then you're going to do the same thing over again, but with another company, the other company that you're given as a list of companies so that they match. They're competitors. And you'll input that data into the tables. So let's go back now to the spreadsheet and see where we go next. So we have this information, all right? So here's the task. Again, you go to this analysis place, you do it twice, and again, you're going to complete this process by inputting this data into these tables. These are the tables I suggest you use. They properly list the companies that you can invest in, or they list the ratios in the categories in which they belong. So under liquidity, there are two ratios that they provide, the current ratio and the quick ratio. They also provide debt equity and leverage for solvency, and they have the gross margin, net profit margin, return on equity, return on assets. There may be other ratios that fit into these categories, but I find that the easiest thing to get started when you're learning how to analyze is to be given something specifically to look at. So you will input here, company one. What you'll do is when you, this table is ultimately going to get put into a Word document. So let's say that, again, you just plug in this number here, 0.7, this was 0.8, and this was 0.5. Okay, so we have our data in this liquidity table. So now what you're going to do, and you can do this right from the PowerPoint that I provide for you, you just click on this and copy. You want to copy, we want to go up here to, we want to go to home, and you're going to copy that worksheet, that table. Now you go to a Word document where you're going to be working on this project in a Word document. Now, one of the things I think that people haven't learned very well is how to use Word to input data. In this case, we want to put that table into this worksheet. So if you go to paste and you want to see, here's a little picture. Look what happens. It pops up there as a picture. Now this picture, you can alter its size so that it shows up on your page. Again, what I would do if I were you is if you right click this and you scroll down, you'll see a thing here that says wrap test. Right? This is I just click square just because what this does now is it allows you to move this table anywhere you want in this Word document. And of course, when you're doing the work, don't forget to save. So now you can type your analysis of liquidity into this Word document. So again, you would do that for all three of these categories. Fill in the numbers, put it into that table. So next, what do? So now you're going to analyze liquidity. You should give a definition of what liquidity is all about. You should define the ratios and tell me what information you get from the numbers that you see. This is really the analysis part, right? What do the numbers tell you? Is the company in good shape or bad shape, right? Can you make a comparison between your company, the other company, the competitor, and the industry? Then you're going to repeat this for both profitability and solvency. So it goes pretty quickly once you get the correct data. And this is where I think people get hung up on completing this project. Once you've completed the analysis, you need to provide an overall summary of what you understand, what you learned, right? Be sure to provide your opinion of what this means for the primary company you've chosen. Don't forget a bibliography, and don't forget to review the rubric. I think students miss this. If you look at the rubric that's provided for this assignment. It will tell you how the project is going to be assessed. How am I going to evaluate your work? So that is the very first project done at the end of week 3. This project directly ties into the project at week 10. So I'm going to do this very quickly here, and then, not week 10, week 8. So that week 8's project ties directly into this. So I'm going to real quickly just go through that and show you how we're going to use this information in that project. So here's project 8. You're going to do some things. The first things you're going to do is what you did in project 3. You're going to provide those ratios and your analysis of that. Provide a detailed analysis, if you will, of what you did in project 3. Now, again, just like in project 3, the first thing you're going to want to do is give me an information or some summary information about the industry and company. Students have a tendency to talk about the primary company, but they don't talk about the industry. I need some industry information as well. So what do you do next? 1 through 4. Each one of these line items here should probably have at least one slide. You're going to talk about the budgeting process. Now, this will become clear when we get there, but this is not capital budgeting. This is the budgeting and planning for operations. You're going to provide something called a variance report. I'll talk about that in a second. And the 7th thing you'll do here is you're going to do a balanced scorecard. So before we go on to the final part of the project, if you notice, these are the tables from the previous project. You need to add 2 columns to that. Well, how do you do that? Well, simply, right, if you go out here to the very end, so you have a little arrow there, you click on that. Hopefully, oops, I'm sorry. Right here, I'm sorry, it's not working well for me. You want to, let's go to the end here. Oh, there you go. And you want to insert a column to the right, and then insert a column to the right. So now you'll be able to put here's your competitor information, and here's the industry comparison. Now, what a variance report about, sorry, I can't spell, is all you want to do is subtract, right? What is the variance between your company and the competitor? Take your company, subtract the competitor. So we see here, it's favorable. Our liquidity is more. So we have a 3/10 favorable variance, right? So down here, if this was 0.7 and this number was 0.8, right? Then this would be a 0.1 unfavorable variance. Then when we're done, part of the variance report is to try to explain these differences. Why do you think they're different? Or is there a difference that's necessary to even talk about? But again, you will do that for the 3 categories. So you may need a slide for each one of these, right? There's no maximum number of slides. In fact, to make the presentation a little easier to read, having less on a slide is always better than having more. So then when you're done, we're going to talk about some other things. You're going to identify which ratios impact the capital budgeting decisions. Again, you'll learn about that later. Then you'll give us a summary. Again, don't forget a bibliography, and please review the rubric so you understand how the assignment is going to be evaluated. Again, in week 8 or week 7, I will come back and I will give a more detailed explanation of this second project. But for right now, let's concentrate on the first project and the process of analyzing a company. Good luck to you.